Good morning. This is the Blaine's World webcast that can be found each week on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. You can also listen in on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and you get more information about this show and previous shows at our website, which is behind me, www.blainesworld.net. I'm your host, Blaine Greenfield, and I'm here in my Zoom studio in lovely downtown Fairview, North Carolina. And each week we focus on positive news and information about people and organizations in both Western North Carolina and throughout the country. And toward that end, it's my pleasure to introduce Sonya Jones, who's the Executive Director of Caja Solidaria. Am I getting it close enough?
You did great.
Okay, thanks, Sonya. And you can feel free to wave to all your friends and friends who are watching this. So that's Sonya, great. And I should mention that Caja Solidaria was founded by Sonya Jones, a former public health professor at the University of South Carolina. She became aware that no Henderson County organization was stepping into the shoes of distributing food or healthy food prescription services. Like many nonprofit organizations, starts with an idea and vision of one individual. And this time it was Sonya. She knows food and how vital it is having nutritious resources available to all people. So she jumped in and has watched it blossom and expand throughout Henderson and Transylvania counties, providing nutrition and friendship that means so much to so many. So the question, Sonya, I always ask the first time I speak with somebody is, as a child, you grew up where?
In Hendersonville.
Okay. And did you know as a girl growing up in Hendersonville that you always wanted to be in this food and nutrition area? Was that your goal as a little kid?
Absolutely not.
What was your goal? What was your goal as a little child?
I wanted to ride horses.
Okay. And did you get to ride horses?
I mean, as a child, yes.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
So then you wanted to ride horses, but you didn't quite make that as a career. So you went to school. Did you study then food and nutrition in school? Is that what you studied?
My second degree, I studied nutrition, yes.
What was your first degree?
In Latin American studies.
Okay. So how did you come up with this idea then that a couple of years ago to start this organization?
So, I mean, I think of myself as a lifelong learner. So my first husband developed cancer before I met him, and he was using nutritional therapies to treat it. And so then I knew that I wanted to understand nutrition better. And that led me down a path of really trying to understand how we increase healthy food access and make sure people have access to preventative health resources like nutrition in our communities.
And so that was your second degree? You studied that?
Yeah, I got a PhD in nutrition in 2002.
Okay.
A long time ago. Yeah.
So then a couple of years ago. So trace it back from 2002, you had the degree. But then what happened then from 2002 to 2020, where you started this organization? What were you doing then?
So I worked at first the University of Tennessee and then the University of South Carolina doing public health nutrition and doing lots of different kinds of research studies in communities about how we increase people's access to healthy food and improve their health by doing that. And in doing a lot of those studies, I sitting on National Academy of Science panels over and over again, it came up, we actually know what to do. And the question is, why aren't we doing it? So like a lot of people during the pandemic, I was ready to start doing something else. And in Hendersonville, I had this opportunity to partner with my friend Delia Jovel to support her effort to increase food access for people in our community who didn't have access to stimulus checks by starting the Abundancia Community Food Bank. So we kind of went in halvesies and helped get that going. They wanted a wide variety of wholesale produce. And so we were able to help support that when it was first getting started. And she named us her solidarity partner, the Solidarity Food Box, Caja Solidaria.
Now, is that food bank still in existence?
The Abundancia Community Food Bank is still in existence, yes.
So explain then, I think I got that part, but explain then, so what is your organization and how is it different than that other one?
So we started out as a produce buying cooperative. So everybody at that point was buying their food. And she had a small grant to purchase food that would be given away for free through the Abundancia Community Food Bank. But, you know, a box of garlic, for instance, is $100. So that money was not going to go very far. But if we split that box in half so that half of it goes to people who can pay for it, and the other half goes to the community food bank, then we could buy the whole box of garlic. So that's the idea. We wanted to get a wide variety of foods so that folks in the Abundancia Community Food Bank would have a really beautiful experience with lots of different varieties of produce. So we brought in people who could help pay for it.
Okay, so now your organization is in existence, and you've been in existence since 2000, since the pandemic, several years. And so
Right.
explain exactly what your organization does.
So since 2022, North Carolina has been trying this really cool experiment where we're trying out the idea that we could pay for healthy food and access to transportation and housing through our health insurance, because we know that most of what happens with our health is not determined in the doctor's office. So what if we use health insurance to pay for all of the aspects of health that we need? So this Healthy Opportunities pilot pays organizations like ours to provide healthy food to people living with chronic health conditions. So just like you might go to the pharmacy to pick up your blood pressure medication, you can get a prescription to come to Caja, or for us to come to you and bring you a market. So you can choose your fruits and vegetables and healthy proteins and whole grains.
And one of the cool things that you do, and listening to you, is the fact that, like you said, you emphasize the healthy food, because everybody talks about it, but unfortunately, it's a lot more expensive to get healthy food than crap, junk food and stuff like that. And so, unfortunately, people too often, I guess, spend too much of their money on not the healthy food alternative.
Right. And I think all of us are feeling this crunch with inflation and the increasing cost of food. It's really hard to go to the grocery store and make the trade-off. So people basically buy calories rather than quality. Right. Yeah.
So when they come to where you are, they don't have the choice. I guess there's only one choice, and that's going to be healthy eating and food. So talk about the kinds of foods that are available, or what is that all about?
Yeah. So our produce, we really emphasize fresh fruits and vegetables, first of all. So that's the centerpiece of what we do. And our produce is going to be what we like to say, mostly local, mostly organic, fresh fruits and vegetables. In the wintertime, we're buying from a much broader field than local, because there's not much that's fresh right now. And we're thinking very much always about the cultural relevance of the foods that we're selecting, because we serve a large Latino population at Caja, and African-American populations, people from the Ukraine, people from India. So we want to make sure that we're offering a wide variety of fruits and vegetables that meet everybody's cooking traditions and really help them, maintain food legacies that are very important for health.
Now, where are you located?
In Hendersonville.
Where in Hendersonville?
We are between Spartanburg and Greenville highways, over on the south side of downtown.
So explain then, if you would, please, what happens. So somebody hears about you, or they're watching this webcast or listening to it, and they hear about this facility. Do they just go there? Do they have to sign up? What's the process?
To get a healthy food prescription, or to come?
Both. Yeah.
Okay. So to get a healthy food prescription right now, people need to be a member of Medicaid, of one of the Medicaid prepaid health plans. So that's North Carolina on its journey to expanding Medicaid, created a model of managed Medicaid where private health insurance companies could offer Medicaid. So if people are participating in Medicaid through one of those private health insurance companies, then they can be screened to see if they would benefit from this service. And that screening takes about 5 minutes to do. And then they get a referral. And so with that referral, we can either go to their house, or they can come to one of our pickup markets.
So on the screening, how does somebody sign up for that, or how does somebody find information about that?
So the fastest way is to call the customer service number on the back of their Medicaid card. What most people do is they call us, and then we can request that they be screened.
Okay. So again, for most people, since we mentioned your organization, if you would, your phone number and your website as well.
Sure. So our website is cajasolidaria.org. So, and I can drop that in the chat.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then our phone number is 828-290-9717.
And so if folks go to the website, they'll also find out all this information.
That's correct. Yeah, there's a right on the top of the website, there's a button that says, "Am I eligible?" And you can fill that out, and we will enter in your information to see if Medicaid will screen you for this program.
By the way, it just flashed on. Can you flash that on again or keep it on, which is really cool? So what Sonya is doing is flashing on the website, and I saw it at the bottom for a second, then it went off on me. Okay, so this, if anybody's watching or listening to this, if they want to get more information, we're going to put the website up. Here it is. Okay, and I don't know if it'll stay there, but it's from Sonya Jones, everyone, and she gives the website. So hopefully that'll stay up there for a while. Then, boy, that flashes on quickly. Did you see that? It just flashes on. I'll do one more time and I'll read it as well.
Okay.
So that's cool. It's a great idea, but I don't think it stays for some reason. So the website is again
CajaSolidaria.org.
Okay, explain then. So what happens? So somebody goes to the website, gets the information, signs up for a screening. Is screening in person or can it be online?
It's on the phone.
Oh, on the phone. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have to go through the screening. And what happens after they get the screening?
So the screening is going to ask about their different social needs. It's going to ask if there's a food need, if there's transportation need, a housing need, a toxic stress need, or a violence prevention related need, a legal need. And based on that, there are 54 different organizations in Western North Carolina that can respond to those needs. Caja is able to do healthy food prescriptions. We're able to support people if they're, for instance, behind on a utility bill, if they need access to non-toxic cleaners or healthy home goods. And other organizations might be able to help with a first month's rent and a deposit on a new place to live, or a car repair, parenting education.
What's cool about this is almost like a one-stop shopping kind of thing that,
Exactly.
you have everything you need. So they sign up for it, they get the prescription, and this is new to me, so excuse the questions because I'm just not familiar with it, but it's a really cool idea. I've never heard of a food prescription. What exactly is that? Is that something in writing or it's just, what is it?
So it comes to us as a referral. So it from the perspective of the person receiving the prescription, the first they're going to hear that they have the prescription is when one of our staff members, we have a really amazing staff of 10 folks who might call them up on the phone and say, "Hey, we received a prescription to provide you healthy food services. We want to know more about any health goals you might have, any food preferences you have, and then describe a little bit more about our delivery and pickup markets for them."
And so explain then, if you would, both of those, the delivery and the pickup options. It's really cool. So they don't even have to necessarily go to some place. It can be delivered to them.
Right. So about 75% of all of our members, we bring a mobile market right to their home. So we sometimes call it the Cajasaurus. We have a SUV.
I love it.
A monster truck, right? That we fill up with fruits and vegetables, set it up like a beautiful market, and we drive right to folks' front door, and they come out and shop from the market.
Oh,
and choose about a week's worth of fruits and vegetables, meats, and whole grains.
so I got it. So they don't have to do it in advance. They get to actually, it's almost like a store they go into and they see what's available.
It's exactly like a store. Yeah.
Okay, very, very cool. And so they get then, what is it, a week supply at a time, or how long is the supply?
Right. So we come every week, and the prescriptions are usually good for 3 months.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty exciting stuff, that you couldn't make it easier for people. And when they go to this truck, if you will, tell me like what's in it. You mentioned fruits and vegetables. Are there 53 vegetables, 17 fruits, or how is it? What is it?
Well, the variety is gonna depend on the time of year. So right now in the winter time, we're gonna have sweet potatoes and potatoes, cabbage, oranges, apples, pears, celery, leeks, cilantro. We almost always have mangoes and bananas. We try to get berries every week that we can because people really like to have access to berries. And then in terms of meat, we buy beef from J4 Cattle in Morganton. We buy pork from Brentwood Farms in Rutherford and Landing Road Farms here in Henderson County. We buy trout from Trout 66 here in Henderson County. And we buy chicken from Brentwood when they have it. And then we also purchase it from Farmer Focus, which is a Virginia farm. And whole grains, we do things like brown rice, quinoa, popcorn. We have somebody that makes fresh tortillas for us. We do whole grain breads. We buy from Bracken Mountain Bakery each week.
The only bad thing in you describing all this is I'm getting hungry. Just listen to it, And this sounds really good stuff. Let me ask you, are there people though who come to you for the first time who don't know how to cook or how to prepare foods? Do you help them in that area as well?
We do. We provide nutrition education in the forms of flyers. Everybody on our team talks with people about recipes and what we do. We encourage everybody on our team to also shop at our market so that I have a recipe on the tips of my fingers for the food that's available in the market that week. We also find that the people we deliver food to are often really excellent cooks. So we learn a lot from them. So somebody might say to me, this is what I did to the cabbage last week. And then the next person says to me, I need new ideas for cabbage. And I'm like, guess what your neighbor did? Doesn't this sound amazing? Yeah.
We said also there's a different recipe each week, or what's that?
We don't distribute recipes. What we have instead is a cookbook library.
Okay.
So we gather up used cookbooks from a variety of different places and just make those available in English and Spanish. So people are welcome to take the cookbooks and keep them if they love them. And if they don't love them, they can bring it back and choose a different one. And we also do children's books about food and kids' cookbooks and things too, so that we're really targeting all ages in the family.
It's almost, as I mentioned before, it is actually a one-stop shopping experience, because it's not just you get the food or you get the ingredients and then you never see them again. What's nice about this, you're actually in touch with these people quite frequently.
Yes, because that's our bigger goal is we really want this to feel like a community, like we're all part of this cooperative community that's a mutual aid hub, taking care of each other and looking out for a variety of needs. So we have community events. We also we've been able to do one round of like in-house cooking classes using a curriculum called Taste of African Heritage, where we really learned about the African roots of Southern cooking and how to make those foods very healthy. So that was super exciting too. And it was a great community building experience. One of many things we do like that.
What's so exciting to me about this is that I won't mention any names of supermarkets, but you don't get the same kind of experience. I can't, again, I'll try not to mention the names, and they're all good, but it's just not the same thing. It's just,
exactly.
You go and get fresh fruits and vegetables, how long they've been there or whatever, and nobody actually speaks to you and nobody actually works with you on this. And so you and 10 others are working with people on this. So I go and get the food. I can pick it up if I want. And then I go, every week I come back, or how often do I come back?
Yeah, every week. Yeah.
And so what is it? You have a certain allowance of how much you can get? Is it like a dollar amount, or how does that work out?
You mean from the perspective of the person picking up the food?
If I get my prescription, it says I can get so much food and this dollar amount of how much food I can get. Is that how it works?
So we have, even though from the perspective of the participant, we really encourage people to choose what makes sense for their household. There's a nutritional design behind that. So we really encourage people to take as many fruits and vegetables as we want, because we know every person in this country needs to eat more fruits and vegetables. Probably only 10% of people across the country and 5% of people in Henderson County are consuming enough fruits and vegetables to prevent chronic health conditions. So we say, please take all of the fruits and vegetables you want, right? And then for a household of 3 to 4, which is the large food box size, we offer 6 healthy protein selections. So people might take 4 selections of meat, eggs, and beans for the week, or nuts for the week. And then, and it's the same with whole grains. So we know that everyone needs to eat more whole grains, but honestly, of all of the foods we offer, that's the one that's hardest for folks to adopt. So we
Even
really
as-
focus on the
even
fruits and
as-
vegetables.
Even as you're saying it, I'm guilty of this, having enough fruits and vegetables. Hardly
Mhm.
anybody has enough fruits and vegetables. The only thing I'm missing, though, I'm listening to you. I didn't hear any Milky Ways. I didn't hear milk.
Well, I mean, we very much believe that all foods fit. So if you want to eat Milky Ways, that's fine. We just don't bring them on the truck.
Oh, okay, I can't get them here. I want my dessert. But that's really cool. So the ballpark, how many folks or families are you serving?
239.
Okay, that's pretty exciting. And you got from nothing at one point in time up to 239. Are you looking to increase that number?
That's a question we ask ourselves every day. I mean, I mean, we're growing at about 4 families per week while we're trying not to grow. But people people walk in the door and have heard about us from their neighbors and friends. They love the experience of coming to the market, and so we continue to enroll people every week.
So does that happen also, that some people just show up and unannounced and want to sign up on the spot?
Mm-hmm.
If that happens, do they then have to go through the process of getting that food prescription?
Yes. Yes. So we still are a produce buying cooperative. So some people purchase a share of produce still. So we have a very small co-op in the context of this very large healthy food prescription program.
Now, you mentioned you have a big truck where the stuff is stored.
Mhm.
So if you don't go to how many people have you come to the home versus go to where the truck is? Most people have you come to the home?
Yeah, about 75% of all of our prescriptions are delivery prescriptions. So so mostly we're going to people's homes. One thing that's really interesting is people love coming to our market. So even if we have a delivery prescription and somebody visits once, they tend to want to keep coming back to the market because it is just a very warm community feeling. And lots of visiting, and you might see other people there. Yeah.
And where's that market located?
It's 316 Chadwick Avenue.
Okay, so that's between the 2 highways.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so certainly easy to get to if people want to find it.
Yeah, we're right on a bus stop, and very convenient.
Okay, so you went from 0 families to 230 plus families.
Mhm.
What do you see happening in the future? Where's this going?
So the first version of the Healthy Opportunities pilot ends in October. And North Carolina has applied to do this again. And on the next round, they want to expand it to everyone who participates in Medicaid. And meanwhile, lots of other private insurers are wanting to get in on this. So there are already some experiments going on with some private insurers in the state expanding this to everyone who has insurance. So it could be that your private insurer, for instance, would offer you the opportunity to have a healthy food prescription through your private insurance as well in the future.
For you personally or the organization, it sounds very exciting, but that could be quite a big bump from what you're doing now. In other words, for 239 to everybody on, is it you said Medicaid?
Everybody on Medicaid, yeah.
And that's a lot of people in Henderson County, I would imagine.
I mean, so right now we think there are about 900 people in Henderson County that qualify for this small version of the program. Medicaid just expanded, so that number got much larger, and I don't know what that is. And that's only 3% of the Medicaid population. So, go ahead and multiply by 95.
So can you imagine going from
Yeah.
where you are now to all of a sudden next year, 239 to 900, potentially more? That's quite a bump you're going to be experiencing.
Yeah, so we are already in the process of opening a hub in Transylvania County. We philosophically very much believe in replication over becoming gigantic. So we would love to train other people how to do what we do. There are other organizations that offer healthy food prescription services, but we like to think that we offer something really unique and special, and we would love to teach other people how to do it the way that we do it. And yeah.
Like you said, especially to replicate it when it works, and
Mhm.
and yeah, which is really cool. You have this tremendous record of success over the
Yeah.
period of time. Talk about also working with the community. I'd ask you this off the air. Do you
Mhm.
work with volunteers, or do you welcome volunteers?
We absolutely welcome volunteers. We have volunteers who are small children, all the way to elders who come and help us. So we have all kinds of work for folks to do, and they can come any day, any weekday, and come and help us out.
Okay, and do they sign up on the website or just show up? Is that what happens?
It's mainly they just show up. On Wednesdays for a while, we had a group of homeschooling parents that would show up with their kids, and they would help us bag grains, and they set up a little community closet for us because they envision that as a need. So we really welcome volunteers to be expansive in their thinking about what they can add to our community.
As you're saying, I'm just listening to this. They have kids involved. It must be very exciting to watch people get involved in this again, because again, we're not mentioning names, but you go to a local grocery store, you have none of that. You just go in and do your
Right.
thing. Here, it's just it sounds really unique. It's kind of a whole experience you're getting, and that you're part of it. Is that what happens?
Yeah, that's what our bigger goal, our core belief is that underlying all of the health conditions that we're concerned about is social isolation, right? And a deep need for community. And food is just the most beautiful facilitator of community if we let it be, if we don't just treat it like a product, right? But we allow it to be the thing around which people gather and enjoy conversation and like to share.
Now, was this going on during the pandemic also?
Not the nonprofit side of it, but the produce buying cooperative was
Gotcha.
big during the pandemic. We had 60 to 75 people. It was running out of our garage at that point, so they were all showing up in our driveway. Yeah.
Right. But now we're hopefully we're past that for good. So so again, just to recap a little bit, if folks want to get more information about this, best bet is probably go to the website.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
again, repeat the website if you would, please.
Caja, Solidaria, SOLIDARIA.org.
If they go there, they can find everything they need to know about this whole
Yeah.
thing. And it talks about how to sign up also.
Yeah, there'll be a button you can push if you want to find out if you're eligible for the Medicaid aspect of the program. If you want to sign up for the produce buying club, you can tap on join the co-op. And if you want to come and volunteer, you can read a little bit about getting involved with us as well.
And so in joining the co-op, there are no financial requirements on that. They just have to want to become part of it.
Yeah, so you pay $25 for your 2 bags of fruits and vegetables.
Okay, that's a pretty good deal when you think about it,
It's an amazing deal,
So,
actually.
I was gonna say, people probably come with big bags, or
Yeah. Yes, they do.
but what you said, but I just love it because it's so nice that there's no minimum requirement, people, and I assume most of the time that people take the fruits and vegetables, they use it and they put it to good use.
I mean, that's what we're assuming because we give people the choice of how much they take. So people aren't required to take anything they don't want or don't feel inspired to try out.
One last thing in terms of the state. So we're talking about Henderson County, we're talking about Transylvania. Is this a program throughout the state as well, or how extensive is it in North Carolina?
So the Healthy Opportunities Pilot is operating in 3 regions. We're in a network region that's led by Impact Health, which is a really awesome new organization that was formed just to do this for Western North Carolina. So we're all in the 18 westernmost counties of North Carolina. And then there's a region that's in 2 different rural Eastern North Carolina regions.
And do you see it being eventually across the state? That's the goal?
Yeah, so this next version of the program that North Carolina is hoping the federal government will approve will be statewide, and it'll include the whole Medicaid population.
Again, I really appreciate you coming on board because it's something I certainly didn't know about, but I gotta believe a lot of other people never heard of this.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
It's brand new, and North Carolina's the first in the country to have this 1115 waiver. So it's kind of all eyes on North Carolina to see how all of this works.
And I really appreciate you saying this. Big thumbs up, because I don't hear too many things that I'm really proud of North Carolina being the first in, So,
Right.
I'm listening to this and whoa, this is a state I belong to,
Yeah.
and you hear such negative stuff, so to have something positive helping so many people, just really exciting. So I want to thank you, Sonya Jones, Executive Director of, let's see, Caja Solidaria. Close
Yeah.
enough. Am I getting there?
Yeah.
And for being my guest this edition of the Blaine's World webcast. Also like to thank my producer, Cappy Tassetti. Look forward to having you join me each time we do a show. So thanks again, Sonya, and stay with me as I sign off, and we'll wrap up right afterwards.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks for inviting me.